The sun was barely up on a chilly October morning in 2024, casting a pale glow over my cattle ranch in Lincoln County, Montana, when trouble rolled in like a storm cloud. I was out checking the irrigation lines near my retention pond, a wide, shallow basin I'd built years ago to water my 60 head of cattle and manage flood runoff. Everything was quiet, just the low hum of the wind and the occasional bellow of a cow. Then I spotted 3 pickup trucks idling at my gate, their drivers arguing, faces buried in their phones. One guy, scruffy beard and a ball cap, waved his screen at me. App says the pickup point's right here by the creek. Another, arms flailing, looked ready to lose it. I've been driving in circles for this damn supply zone. They weren't mad at me, which threw me off. They were pissed at whoever sent them to my private livestock pond. I tried explaining this was my land, my water, my operation county approved, fenced, and paid for with years of sweat. But before I could get a word in, a sleek SUV pulled up, and out stepped Clara Evans, clutching a clipboard and wearing a badge that looked like it came from a dollar store. "I'm the sustainability coordinator," she announced, like it gave her the right to claim my property. "We're setting up a green pickup point right here." She gestured at the strip between my pond and the access road, as if she owned it. I pointed to the painted boundary markers, the permits posted clear as day. "This is private ranch infrastructure. It's for cattle and flood control, not your eco project." Clara didn't blink. "Community initiatives override private zoning," she said, tossing out buzzwords like transition streams and public access. I almost laughed. Transition streams sounded like she made it up on the spot. But the growing line of cars behind her killed any humor. Drivers kept showing up, following some app she'd hijacked, blocking the cattle trail and turning my quiet morning into a circus. By Tuesday, things got uglier. Clara had taken to the internet, posting videos next to my pond, preaching about stream justice and pond privilege. She painted me as some greedy rancher hoarding water from the community. Her posts spread like wildfire, with environmentalists sharing them without a clue about ranch operations or livestock safety. Comment threads filled with strangers who'd never set foot on a farm, demanding I open my pond to the public. Meanwhile, local ranchers fought back online, explaining how ponds like mine are built for cattle, not carpooling. My neighbor, Tom, posted screenshots of Clara's misleading directions luring people to private land. Another farmer laid out how public access risks contamination, endangering herds and people alike. But Clara didn't back down. She set up folding chairs and umbrellas, turning the strip by my pond into a protest camp. Her SUV was parked smack on the flood outlet engineered to keep my fields safe during storms. My weather app buzzed with warnings: heavy rain expected, flash flood risk high. I told her about the forecast, the danger of blocking drainage channels, but she waved it off as landowner intimidation. The cattle were restless, unable to reach their drinking spot, and I was filming my permits, trying to explain property rights to confused drivers who just wanted to go green. Wednesday morning, the storm hit hard. Rain pounded the ground, and my pond started filling faster than I'd seen in years. Clara's SUV and her coordinator headquarters were blocking the overflow channels, designed to keep water from spilling into my pastures and neighboring farms. I called the county, and Fire Marshal Jake Larson showed up by 10 a.m. The water was inches from breaching, threatening cattle pens and nearby properties. "This is a full emergency," Jake said, eyeing the gauge. "You're authorized to restore flow, whatever it takes." I trained for this, certified in farm disaster control. I knew blocked channels could mean catastrophic flooding. Clara's car was leaking oil into the pond, fouling the water my cattle depended on. I shouted for her to move it, but she stood firm, yelling about her coordination rights and accusing me of bullying. The ground under her SUV was turning to mush, the engine sucking in water. County Emergency Manager Sarah Klein arrived, confirming the crisis. "We're at critical threshold," she said. "If drainage isn't restored in 30 minutes, we're looking at regional flooding." I glanced at my excavator by the shed. There was no time for debate. Thursday brought a new twist. An insurance adjuster, Mike Reynolds, showed up to investigate potential flood claims and zeroed in on Clara's half-submerged SUV. "How'd a car end up in a livestock pond during a storm response?" he asked, snapping photos. I explained the setup. My excavator was carving bypass channels to save the pond and prevent flooding across multiple farms. It was textbook flood control, approved by the county. Mike's eyes narrowed as he documented Clara's history-similar stunts at other rural sites, always tied to environmental coordination. Her insurance wouldn't cover damages from unauthorized placement during an emergency, he said, his camera flashing as Clara's car sank deeper. I worked the excavator with precision, cutting spillways to redirect water while protecting the pond structure. The hum of the engine mixed with the roar of runoff, a tense soundtrack to the crisis. Clara, desperate, tried to drive out, gunning the engine through saturated soil. The tires spun, mud flying, and the car slid into the deepest part of the pond. Bubbles erupted, followed by an oily sheen. Everyone froze, watching the vehicle vanish under the murky water. Friday was the breaking point. I kept the excavator moving, stabilizing water levels while Jake and Sarah documented every step. Mike, the adjuster, filmed too, noting the work was solely for flood control, not targeting Clara's car. Her reckless attempt to escape had sealed her fake county rules didn't pause for personal property when farms were at stake. The spillways worked, diverting water and containing contamination within the pond's filtration system. Multiple farms were spared, but Clara's actions had turned my livestock water into a toxic mess. By Saturday, the county water board held a hearing in a packed room, reporters scribbling in the back. The county engineer testified my response was textbook perfect, following every protocol. Mike presented evidence of Clara's pattern of claims, voiding her insurance. The HOA president admitted Clara's coordinator role had no authority over private land. The ruling was clear: Clara was liable for cleanup, fines, and damages. My actions were commended, and the case would be used for state training on farm crisis management. By Sunday, cleanup crews were restoring the pond, removing oil and debris while ensuring cattle safety. Lab tests confirmed the water was clean again, thanks to the pond's built-in filtration. The state planned to use my case for flood training, and the HOA rolled out new rules to prevent future overreaches. Clara was ordered to take ranch management courses and serve community time with flood crews. Standing by my restored pond, cattle drinking calmly, I realized preparation and clear boundaries had saved more than my land feed set a precedent. This wasn't about grudges. It was about protecting what's mine when storms or fake authority come knocking. So, what do you think? Was Clara just misguided? Or was she deliberately pushing boundaries for clout? Should private property rights always trump community projects? Or is there a gray area? Have you ever faced someone twisting the truth to claim what's yours? Drop your thoughts below. Hit that like button if this hit home. And subscribe for more stories where truth fights chaos. Share this with someone who'd get fired up over a standoff like this.